Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I come to you today to give you another video about lettering basics. And in this video, we are gonna see a little bit about brush lettering. Specifically, I'm gonna show you the basic strokes you need to know to ace your game in brush lettering and get the best letters you can on your lettering pieces. I'm gonna show you first those strokes, and then we're gonna recreate all the alphabets using them to show you how great looking you can get your pieces if you follow these basic strokes exactly how they are supposed to be done. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, the first stroke you have to know it's the upstroke. So, upstroke, and it works exactly as the name says it. It's an upstroke. So, you go up with your brush pen, and you should go up with little pressure so you have a really thin stroke. Let's see how that plays into action. So, just an upstroke with no pressure or very little pressure so that you get a really nice thin line. That's the upstroke. Next, we have the downstroke. The downstroke is just the opposite of the upstroke. You're gonna go down with your brush pen and you're gonna make sure that you're putting a lot more pressure into your pen so you get a thick stroke like this. And you should really practice that a lot, like I'm doing here, many times so you get used to doing the light up and heavy down. So this is the downstroke. Next up, we have the overturn. Overturn stroke, we have a combination of a light and a heavy stroke. Like we have an upstroke going with little pressure and a downstroke coming with a lot more pressure. So we're gonna kind of combine those two that we saw previously. So this one goes up, this one comes down, and for this one right here, we're gonna go first up and then we're gonna come down with a lot more pressure on our brush pen. So let's try that. So we go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And you should really, again, repeat that as many times as you have to get used to drawing them and to get used to the pressure you should put on your brush pen. And another important thing is that those lines, they should be parallel or as much as you can. Like in here, they should be really, really parallel. Okay, that's the overturn. And then we're gonna go to the underturn. And the underturn is just the opposite of the overturn. So we're gonna go first heavy down and then we're gonna go light up. So again, we combine the two first strokes, but we start going with pressure down and then we release pressure and go up like this. and just make sure you practice so you get more even lines. Next up, we have now a combination of those two last ones. So we have a combination of the underturn and the overturn, and that's called the compound curve. So we start with little pressure, then we come down with more pressure, then we lift without pressure. So up, down, up. That's the way you should follow. So practicing it, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, light. And just a couple more. And yes, that's about it. That's our compound curve. Next up, we have the oval, the dreaded oval. Most people don't like this oval, and I have to admit it was the hardest one for me to master when I started, but it's really, really important, so you should take care of mastering it. And the oval, we come here a little light up, then we put pressure down, and then we come back up to connect about in the middle or something like in here. And that's really important because if you start just up down, you're gonna have a hard time connecting the light with the thick stroke. However, if you start like about here or in here, you're gonna go light and then you're gonna put pressure. And when we release pressure, it's gonna be a lot easier to connect this oval. So that's a really important trick you should practice. So let's go try this oval. So we start in here, go heavy and lift. Yes, so there you have some ovals. Now we're missing only two strokes, and one of them is this ascending loop. The ascending loop, it's a loop that we start going up and then we come down. So we start going up and then we put pressure to come down with the loop. And let me just put its name in here, ascending loop. And we're gonna practice this one a little bit so we get comfortable with it. So there we have it. Just a few more. Yes, this is our ascending loop. And the last one is the descending loop. And the descending loop, it's the opposite of the ascending loop. So we first go down and then we come up. And again, the basic rule is when you go down, you put pressure. When you go up, you release pressure. So we're gonna practice that the same as we did before. So pressure, release pressure, pressure, release pressure. And let's do a couple more. Okay, there we have it. So those are all the basic strokes. Let me just lay them here so you can have a look at all of them at the same time. I hope they fit on the screen. Yes. So those are the 8 strokes you should practice to get really clean lines and clean letters when you're working on your brush lettering. And we're gonna practice them on some letters of the alphabet right now. So let me put this here, and we're gonna recreate the whole alphabet. This is what it looks like when it's finished, and you're gonna see how every stroke is made up of those that we just learned. I have a blank sheet right here, and we're gonna do that. And actually I'm gonna use different colors in this one so that you can see the different strokes we have to get to make up every letter of the alphabet. So let's do this. Okay, let's start with the A, our first letter. So first I have a upstroke, then an oval, and an underturn. So that's the A. Now let's go for the B. The B, we start with the upstroke. Then we have an ascending loop. And something funny about the B is that it has this weird stroke that you should just practice to get used to it. So it's basically a overturn, but it has this little loop in the bottom. For the C, we go up, then we have the mix of an oval with another upstroke. For the D, upstroke, then we have an oval, ascending loop, and upstroke. Letter E, and by now you're already okay with the names of each curve, so I'm just gonna stop saying all of them each time I do one. Now let's get to the F. And the F has both a ascending and a descending loop. So just so you can see both of them in play here. Okay, now let's go for the G. Now we have a descending loop. And up. Another tip for you is that you should really get a comfortable position. This one's not the best for me, but I have to show you guys how it works, so that's why I'm using this position right now. And look here, we have a compound. First time it appears now. Letter E, I, J, K. And the K, it's another letter that has some funky looking strokes, but you can use the concepts of the other ones to get them right. So more or less like this. Now the letter L. And remember, you go light pressure up and more pressure down. And I just use the brown color. No problem. You can see the difference now. Okay, let's go to the M. In the M, it's a lot of overturns. So I have first one, a second one, and a compound. The N, similar technique. The O, and the O has this little stroke. Just a little something. Now we have the P. And the P has the same weird looking stroke as the B. The Q. Now let's go for the R. The S. The T. The U. the V, the W, the X, and we go for a Y, and finally the letter Z. So there you have it, the whole alphabet done with brush pen using the basic strokes we learned today. And with this black one, you can see it better. You see that it's really pretty what you can do if you use the right strokes and you know exactly where you put pressure going up or down. I hope that was useful for you. I hope that you practice the letters, and I would like if you give it a thumbs up and you share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching. Bye.